Hello, Marilyn. You're the only one in the chat right now. Let's see. Can I share this maybe on Facebook and see if I can draw in more people? Not that I intend on staying for too long, but it's fun to have a few more people in the chat. 7 watching? Nice. So there are some other people in the background. Well, 6 because I have it open there, so it probably counts as 1. Hello, everyone else. And if there's anyone watching this on a replay, thank you so much for doing so. Yeah, it was a weird day yesterday. I did plenty of things while worrying about my YouTube subscribers dropping off like crazy. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if there's a spring cleanup or whatever it is, but I lost 29 subscribers in the past 2 weeks, just out of nowhere. And then suddenly I look back yesterday, a little bit after supper, and boom, I was over 2,500. So that's pretty cool. Thank you everyone for following me. I know it's awesome. Internet is better today. That's a very good thing. Even though I have a long video uploading, it's at 68%. I struggle so much with that long video that I am trying to make. I wanted to have a 2.5 hours long video of the sound of a stream, just to relax. Something that my girlfriend loves listening to because of her Meniere disease. She used the term, let me see. The hens are going to their new home today. That's awesome, Marilyn. Tinnitus. That's the word that my girlfriend used. I guess it's something in her ear that when she listens to a stream or water flowing or something like that, I guess it helps her. The fact that there's a continuous sound in her ear, I don't know, I guess it helps her with her Meniere disease. I don't know. I made a video for her, and hopefully she'll listen to it, and maybe some other people will listen to it too. It's just the kind of thing you can put in the background before you go to bed, to relax, for meditation and stuff like that. So I don't expect everyone to watch the whole thing just for fun. So it's good that my internet is better today. Hello, Thomas. Hope all is well. Been going down and up too. It's weird. Yeah, I don't know if it's a spring cleanup or. Let's see. You're at 729, and see, I didn't notice that you have all those short videos up. I hate that you can't. Like, I wish there was a setting that you could see whenever there was an update on a short. And by the way, I realized 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's still 8 videos that I haven't watched. Well, more than that, the previous ones I didn't watch them yet. I just didn't have time since a conference, since I got back. Felling a oversized danger tree and getting it over to the mill. The original refrigerator, how the old timers kept their stuff cool. These I want to watch. I mean, I also want to watch the one where you picked wild leeks. Hello, Dave. Opening up the greenhouse. I don't think I'll be opening mine now because I want the heat to stay in there, just so I can bring in my tomatoes. I'll go see though if it's really too warm. Maybe I'll open the door, like unzip one side of the door, so it gives a little nice breeze in there. But I don't know. I'm always afraid that the cold might snap at some point and I forget the door open and it might kill everything I have in there. So, bon matin, Tracy. Bon matin. Bon matin. Nice to have you here. Waiting for the rest of the praise team to get here. Also, people are going at your place, or you're just watching from church. So after the struggle of my live stream Friday, I went to bed knowing that I was going to be up early Saturday morning. First thing I did when I got up, after my coffee, because I drank my coffee while catching up on a few videos. You're on phone from church. Okay, well, it's still nice to have you here for however long that is. I caught up on some videos and then went outside, started planting. I had radishes, beets, rutabaga. I already have onions in the ground, and it's weird. I think the slugs are flipping over my onion bulbs. I planted a few bulbs, and I come back and they're flipped over, upside down, and I can still see the little hole where the onion was. I have to plant them a little deeper, I guess, for now, and once they establish, lift them up a little bit or remove the soil around them to give them space to expand. So I went around my garden and I fixed those onions. My potatoes are still okay, I guess. My onions from last year also. I was planting my rutabagas, and I had a little pack of seeds next to me as I was doing my little rows, and suddenly the wind just picked up, and all I could hear was like the seeds. They're long gone. I don't know. I'm gonna have a bunch of rutabagas growing in the middle of my garden somewhere. I tried to find it, tried to find the seeds. Couldn't. So of course there are tiny seeds. So I'll see when it grows, exactly where where they landed. I planted some beans, peas, and I think that's it. Oh, I have like 3/4 of an aisle, so about 30 feet long for tomato plants. And I think what I'm going to do is plant the ones that I don't really mind the kind. Subarctic plain tomatoes and Manitoba tomatoes. Whenever they're ready, I'm just picking them up, and that's it. The giant crimson tomatoes and the leader monster from Mackenzie and the lawn keepers are probably going to grow in my greenhouse. I'm going to put them in my greenhouse, and that way I'll have some on each side and another one in the middle, even though it's not that big, and maybe the peppers in between. I don't know. It's only like 6x8, so I can only put so much in there, which kind of sucked because I wish I could have more tomato plants in there. Just finished getting everything filled with soil Friday. Still have a few yards left over. I'm going to sprinkle around the greenhouse and plant strawberries. The fun thing about strawberries is once you have your bed going, 2-3 years, it's going to spread everywhere. And I, for one, love strawberries, and I don't mind if they spread. It seems that whenever you have them in an actual raised bed, they're a little bit harder. It's a little bit harder for them to crawl on the ground, to get out of the bed, I should say. I had one plant last year that actually managed to grow outside of the bed. For some reason, the mice go on the strawberries as soon as they start turning red. I'm going to have to put a few traps around. I keep saying it and not doing it, but I really have to do it this year. And this year I noticed a second plant. So hopefully they can start crawling a little bit around the bed and give me some more strawberries. here. I kind of forgot about your live on Sunday morning. Well, I kind of stopped doing them for a little while. Well, I was at the conference, and then I had a few things going on, and it just didn't happen. But it's always fun to catch up a little bit with a different crowd, because not everyone can be here on Friday night, and gives people a chance to know what I'm doing, ask questions, have a little chat with me on Sunday morning. Yes, if you like strawberries, and what you can do is, once you see those little shoots, they'll go, like, the little shoot will go on the ground and create a new plant, and then you cut the little the link between them, the little cord between them, and that's going to create another extra strong plant that you can transplant anywhere you want. So strawberries will propagate in two different ways. The mother plant will send shoots all over to create more plants. And the strawberry itself, if it falls on the ground, the seeds from the strawberry can actually make you more plants, although it takes a little bit longer. What else did I plant anything else? Okay, whatever that means. Sunrise Energy, Jupiter, Saturn. Okay. Okay, that's neat. I didn't know that we have the little wild ones all over. No big ones, though. Let me just clear this up. If you come on my channel and you just enter a bunch of stuff, I'm gonna ban you. So there it is. Someone was banned. So what was I saying? Yeah, we have some wild ones here as well. They taste delicious, though. The wild ones, they're very small. It takes a long time to harvest, but they're actually pretty good. But the big ones, once they start, you'll be surprised with the harvest. I purchased, I think it was 25 roots, like the bare roots, just the roots of strawberries, and I put them all in my raised bed. That's 4x8, and that was about 5 years ago. The first year I had like maybe 4 or 5 strawberries. So if you start with the roots, you can still get some strawberries. The second year I had a decent harvest. Well, the kids did, eating straight from the garden. And after that, it's been, I think last year, out of that 4x8 raised bed, I ended up having about, was it 7-8 pounds? Let me see. I probably have it written down here, right here. I hate when I try to go fast and I click on the button and it doesn't want to open. I just want to get you. Okay, so here it is. Gardening. Strawberries. Yeah, 6.5 pounds of strawberries in my 4x8 garden bed, which is pretty cool. And like I said, I lost a few to the mice and other rodents. So, hello, Gardener Josh. Thank you so much for stopping by. Are you still looking for a lot of watch hours? they're about 8 inches tall already. So they're going to produce strawberries this year, and I would suggest you plant them at least 1 foot apart. You you could even go, like, if you don't have much and you have a lot of space, you could even put them 2 feet apart. They'll, by the time they spread, like within a year, you'll see them spreading. I have some that I started inside, and I mean, I started them from just the roots, so there was no actual plant yet, and the shoots are already like spreading all over. I have them in an upside down little plastic bucket, and I already had 2 little tiny plants that I was able to plant back in the little holes that I have all around. Yeah, although we do love strawberries for breakfast, I pour a little bit of sugar on them, and it's a nice little healthy snack, especially for the kids. When you have, you only need like maybe 5 big strawberries, and you cut them up in pieces, and it's a very healthy snack. Only half an inch of rain in May, hot and sunny for June, watering like crazy to keep moisture in the soil. Well, that's too bad. We've had rain for the past, well, not yesterday, but the previous 3 days, and I can still see the soil being wet between my aisles, which is pretty awesome. It means that the water is staying in the garden, but not in my aisles. It's going to help. It's like a perfect irrigation system that I have without doing anything specific. It just did that on its own. I went over on Sarah's property where my barn is yesterday. I'm blessed that Sales is doing all that stuff for me. I kind of feel bad that he's doing all this, but I wanted to see what I could do, and he told me, go home, go do your stuff, we'll take care of it. We're here, we're gonna have some fun. And okay, so came back home. He got stuck with a 4-wheeler a few times. I don't know if you saw the few shorts videos I have. I'm gonna put that into a real regular video. It's not gonna be very long, but he's got this old redneck machine, heavy thing in the back, and you can put it deep or not as deep, whatever he wants, with a lever, and you put that on, and the garden that he has right now is full of mud. So like Marilyn said, just with the 4-wheeler itself, going out there is enough to till the garden. He's having issues with goldenrods. It's taking over the garden so fast that nothing else has time to grow. So if you have any idea of how to get rid of them, any help is appreciated. Hello, Darren, Thorhaven Farm. Thank you so much for dropping by. We are doing amazing. Hello, Lewis. Thank you so much for stopping by as well. Send some of that rain to Ontario. I wish I could. We usually have enough so that I don't have to water the garden too much. But since I planted the seeds yesterday, and I'm probably going to plant some more. Good morning, Lynn. Thank you for stopping by. Pee on the goldenrods. Is that a real thing? There's going to need to be a lot of beer drinking in order to fill all this garden. I think the garden is about 100 meters or 100 yards maybe long by 30, 40 yards wide. There's going to need a lot of pee. Although he did watering here big time, planting and seeding so much. Yeah, it's that time of year, right, where everything is just so busy. I'm getting my meat chickens next weekend, same time as the originals, mini and ball originals for my daughter, and she told me she's gonna start handing out chickens 6 a.m. I think that's what she said. What's the exact time? And she said, yeah, 6 a.m. So I'm gonna have to be up very early to be there and get the chickens, the turkeys, come back home, take a shower, and head back to the originals. Watering here, yeah. There's a lot of planting here as well. I have to set up my my hose. That's a lot of Bud Light. I switch. I was tired of my father-in-law bullying me and Darren bullying me. I switch. That's empty, by the way. Not drinking this morning, but that's going to be a lot of Coors Light. Sells drinks the IPA beer. That's going to be a lot of drinking if we want to peel over that garden. But if it really works, we are definitely going to try. I also read that you could use vinegar to kill the rods, but vinegar is going to make the soil very acidic. Well, it's not my fault. It used to be the cheapest beer, and I have a fragile stomach. I can't really drink the hard stuff. Plus, it's making me fat quite fast. So yeah, if you put vinegar on your goldenrods, you might kill them. Get rid of kidney stones. Yeah, a doctor told me that was just not true. But regardless, I'm still gonna drink beer. If you put vinegar on your goldenrods, the soil's gonna get acidic, and it's not gonna be good for a few years, from what I understand. Well, maybe not a few years, maybe for a year. Although it's not gonna plant anything in there this year anyway. There's actually too much goldenrods. Like, you can't grow anything in that part of the garden. The other option we have is put a bunch of cardboard on top of everything and get some topsoil delivered on top of it, which is going to be very expensive. So we'll see. We'll see. I'll go pee in the garden and see what happens. Today I have more beans to plant, cucumbers, more peas, some zucchinis, pea heads, nitrate. So is that what we need to kill the golden rods? Easy way to kill golden rods. I have everything to plant today. Yeah. I'm just not planting everything because I'm waiting on the community garden. And they're usually not ready before June 15, which kind of sucks. I want to have my stuff planted before then, for sure. I have some more stuff inside that I need to transplant also. I'm going to have some herbs, basil, sage, and stuff like that. I also relocated all my ascap berries and my blueberries because where they were, the grass is growing too fast around them and feels like they don't have time to grow and expand, and the fruits are not visible. So when we go out there, we don't see the fruits at all. I put them with my food forest, so I'm going to have everything in the same spot except for 2 cherry trees, 2 plum trees, my 4 apple trees. My raspberries are going to be on a different spot also, and my gooseberries. The rest is all going to be at the same spot in the back of the house. So, it's going to be fun to go out there, take a walk, and just harvest fruits all year round. Well, all summer round, I should say. Planting pickles today overnight is 12 Celsius. Nice. Um, can be treated in spring when they are 3 to 4 inches tall using broadleaf herbicide. Yeah, we try to stay away from the herbicides, but Selge is willing to do anything at this point. You can use either black tarp or clear plastic film solarization. Both will work as they aim to kill weeds using different means. So that's another option. Just put plastic on top of them and make sure they don't get water at all. The only problem is at the place where it's growing, I'm pretty sure there's water coming from underneath the ground. It says also, main key to weed control is not letting them go to seed. So as soon as they start going to seed, you have to kill them or remove them. Flail mower. RX Cyclone flail mower as soon as possible. With low volume, high concentration of garland for herbicide diluent. So, let's see what they have. Hello, Melissa. Trying to find a way to get rid of the goldenrods. Can you brush hog it until manure and plant? Until manure and plant. Here too, because I'm serious and okay. Talking about maybe putting pigs there, which would be nice if we actually had time and space for the pigs. Making mundo and barbacoa and listening. Awesome. Thank you so much, Melissa. I'm not talking too much right now. I'm trying to find a way to get rid of those golden rods. There seem to be a few ways here. Hello, WildEdibles. Thank you so much for stopping by. Yes, thumbs up. And, well, thumbs up is fine. If you share, even better. If there's anyone there that haven't said hi yet, I'm sorry I didn't see you come through. And if you're still there, you want to say hi again, maybe I'll get it the second time. Yeah, I was surprised that my ASCAP berries are actually doing pretty well. And that's the thing. I removed the grass from around them before it had time to grow, and I could see the berries. And it was the same thing last year. And then as soon as the grass and weeds starts growing, you lose track of the berries. And I don't know if they're falling on the ground or if something else is eating them. I usually whack it all before it goes to seed. I have been doing it in the last few years. It's been helping a lot. Only a few come up now, but the parsnip is moving in. Yeah. But last year, honestly, well, last year and the year before, we spent a whole day, Serge, his friend Alsan, and I, just removing all the weeds from the garden. Like removing them, physically removing with the roots and everything. And we got there the next week, and it was full of them again. So it's like it's spreading like crazy. It's good for allergies. It blooms when ragweed blooms, so people see the goldenrod and think it causes allergies when it really could be a cure, really. All right, Lynn, thank you for stopping by. Have a great day, and hope that you can make the garden of your dreams. Don't forget to film and show us some videos later on. So I didn't know that ragweed blooms, so people see the goldenrod and think it causes allergies when really it could be a cure. Um, some people are allergic to goldenrod, though. Not saying it doesn't happen, but it could be a ragweed allergy instead. Yeah, it's not causing allergies. It's just growing so much in the garden that nothing else grows. It's really spreading like crazy. Um, if you don't mow the lawn, well, you can't really mow the lawn. It's a garden, and you can't really get there with a tractor. But if you don't cut them and remove them like every day, it's all you see out there. Uh, yeah, I was happy that last year in the fall I forgot some plants in the pots. I forgot to plant them. There was so much going on, and I just let them go and whatever. I cut my losses at some point. Move on, let it go. In the spring, they came back. So I had 2 raspberry plants that were fully grown in those pots that I found maybe 2 weeks ago. And yesterday I planted them, and they're still doing great. I also had 2 Haskap berry plants. One of them was thriving. I planted it 2 weeks ago, and it's still doing great. There's another one that I thought for sure was dead. Figured I'm going to plant it anyway and see what happens. And fair enough, yesterday I was looking at the plant to see if there was any life in it. And I could see like 3 little green buds on it. So it means that it's still alive. I'm going to give it a lot of compost. Well, I already did. I'm going to give it some more compost just to make sure it has all the nutrients it needs. And hopefully it'll give me an extra plant. My grapes from last year are growing back again too. So that's another fun thing. Annie from Back to Basics Homestead gave me a bunch of cuttings from yellow raspberries and red raspberries and black raspberries. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure they didn't make it, but I was able to find some yellow raspberries at the local nursery. They are native but very productive one. Eat them. They have vitamin C in them. Look it up online and see what you think. If you're talking about the golden rods, I read that they could be, they're not actually edible. I'll show you some pictures this summer, and you can confirm that it is what I think it is. And yeah, we'll see. Can't wait to see my grapes and apple trees. Soon I'll be in town. Yeah, so you're not home right now. You have your food forest going for you, and so it's pretty cool that my grapes are actually starting to grow back. I have not been able to grow grapes in the past, and this year it seems like they're doing better. I put them full sun, give them a lot of water, give them a lot of fertilizer. Well, rabbit manure, I should say, and they seem to be doing better. Hello, Tammy. Thank you so much for stopping by. The inner part of the stem is edible, and leaves are great in tea. Okay, that's good to know. Cells will be happy to know that, but not the yellow part, like not the golden part on top. That's not edible. The inner part of the stem. If it's only the inner part of the stem, that means it's still going to be hard to harvest properly. What else have I had? My apple trees are starting to bloom now. My cherry trees also. My plum trees, they're doing great. There's only one that I think I might have to kill because it has that black fungus on it, and I don't want that spreading to all the rest. Now, I don't know if I cut it on top of the fungus and, just to cut that black part out, if it would save the tree or if it's already spread in the whole tree. I don't know how that works. There's one of the plum trees that I bought from Pépinière Ancestrale that doesn't seem to be doing too good. It's almost like it's dried out. I'm sorry, I was reading WildEdibles comment. When young, it's kind of easy. Play with them when you pull them out, and yes, do a video on them. I can tell you, awesome. Yeah, one of my plum tree doesn't seem to have any green coming out, so I don't know if it's because it's dead or just taking longer to come out of his dormancy. But beside that, like I'm looking at my food forest that I just literally built this year, kind of. Whoever, I'll say the same as Darren said. Whoever gets this house, once I leave, or if I die at some point, is gonna have food for a long time. When the flowers are really young, not open yet, you can make tea. But as soon as they open, they dry, seedy, and fluffy. You get it flying everywhere. Yeah, and it must be hard to get rid of it, and it must not be fun to eat. I also read that the cattails, I knew they were edible. I thought it was only like the stem and the roots, but apparently that brown fluffy stuff on top can be turned into flour, and you can make like cookies and bread with them. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I was talking to the kids and telling them, whoever lands with this house when they get older is going to have a bunch of fruit trees already here. And, well, I want the house. No, I want it. No. No. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. They can all end up with jobs that send them somewhere else. And, my parents signed the house to me on their testament. So there might be different possibilities for the kids, and it's not something that I'm ready to discuss now. I'm still hoping that I have at least, let's hope for at least another 25 to 40 years left, at least. Leaves and flower tea is what's listed in Pearson's Guide for Edibles. Pollen yellow on top, not the brown fluffy seeds. Okay, well that's good to know. I'll dig into that deeper for sure. That's need no shortage around here. You're talking about the goldenrod still, or about the cattails? Cattails. I was actually reading something on Facebook that, it was a book advertisement on Facebook, and I started reading on it, and it says that it's actually one of the plant to have around in an apocalyptic situation. Because you can do a lot of things. You have the roots, you have the stem, you have multiple different things you can do. There's a part of the root that you can actually use as pasta, sort of. Yeah, I want to sell the house, but don't really want it. Want to if my kids need it. Well, I was hoping to be able to sell the house a while back, but it's going to be hard for me to find a place with the way that the prices went up. Um, I'm starting to think that maybe I'm just going to stay here, make a little paradise here, and who knows, maybe at some point, simply buy land somewhere. cattails are the supermarket of the swamp. Yeah, WildEdibles is talking about the goldenrods, but Thomas Life in the Valley was talking about the cattails. You can get everything you need from cattail plant. Yeah, exactly. You can make flour with it. You can make pasta. You can make crunchy green. You can, it's pretty cool plant to have around. I ate some shoes last week, but haven't done the video on it yet. Cattails. Yeah, I want to do one, but I don't know. Yeah, like I don't really have rubber boots to go in a place where I can get them easily. And well, actually, yeah, maybe there's some at Sellers Land I could get behind the beaver dam, because it's he's got the beaver dams like one after another, like 3 or 4 big dams. And the thing is, the dam is right in the middle of his road. So if he wants to build a road to go in the back of his property, he has to destroy the dam. But apparently, with the ecological system and all that kind of stuff, I don't know if it's illegal or just not a good thing to do. So he required a license, which I think he got. But in order to destroy the dam, you have to get rid of the beavers first, or something like that anyway. But what we're trying to do is slowly try to push it a little bit so that he can at least have his path from his road again. Because he would only need to move the dam by maybe 10 feet, and then he'd be able to go up on his road. But it's hard to do. It's hard to do. But he does have some cattails back there that maybe I could harvest and do a little video on it and try it. The shoots are nice and easy to pull. Yeah, if I have an easy to get to spot, then it's the best. And I don't know if it changes anything, but I've heard that if you pick them up in a swamp, it's not really the best place to get them. Like if you could have them in a place where there's at least a little bit of water flowing, it'd be better. No rain here. I was outside. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for stopping by. Ecocentric Homestead. Jonathan, thank you so much for being here. It's not raining here either. I'm going outside very soon. I pulled some on the side of the road because it's not a busty road. It's a dead end road, and we are at the end, kind of. Awesome. Yeah, there's a lot of food. Friend of mine made the news for foraging. She gave a few classes about foraging, mostly about mushrooms, but she can go out and eat food all year round in the forest, I guess. Exactly. They pull everything out of the wetlands, so look around and see what is uphill. Okay. Yeah, she was telling me last year that some people in the Fredericton Mountain area actually eat about 75% from foraging. 75% of your food from foraging. That is a lot. And that means 75% of your food is free. And eat some. No need to pick out, probably dig out. You get vitamin and minerals, but heavy metals possibly too. Awesome. Chances are I'll be gone because I also want to go outside. I wonder if I could. I don't know if my internet connection would be good enough to go outside and just show you around. I don't think it would. Yeah, I want to get into that. I want to get into the foraging and harvesting wild stuff. That's one of the main reasons when I saw WildEdibles channel the first time, she's one person I connected to pretty quickly because it's free food. People are complaining that the cost of life, cost of living is going up like crazy. And it's true, it is. But, I mean, someone that can't eat, really? There's food out there all over the place. Dandelion are edible, and it's growing everywhere. You can go in the forest and harvest some. I know about mint. I know a few different kind of mushroom. Like I said, cattails. There are some other plants, stinging needles. Like there's just a bunch of plant fiddleheads. I think I ended up with like 41 pounds of fiddlehead this year. I'm far from the 80 I got last year, but we still had some left. I love helping people learn this. Yeah, it's tricky. You have to be 100% sure of what you're eating. But if you can get your food from the wild, why not? I love foraging too. I had one person follow me that said that they were lost in the bush hunting, but no game. They didn't eat anything. They had no idea what to eat. I know. I took a summer camp back when I was 12 years old. That was specifically about like survival and what to eat in the wilds and all that kind of stuff. Um, Problem is, I got my finger stuck. I don't know if you can see my two nails, my two middle fingers. Maybe if I put them that way. Okay. So these are the same fingers, and as you can see, my nails are different. This one here, I lost my nail. I got my finger stuck in a door. When I was 12, I had this big bandage, 6 suture points, and I had to go around with my hand like this with this big stuff. So basically, go around making the middle finger to everyone. So I ended up not staying. Came back the next day, which kind of sucked because it would have been a nice camp, a nice week for sure. But I still had time to learn a few things. Like there are those clover in the woods, shaped as a heart, that are edible. But I haven't had those in a long time. Now I'm not sure if that's the first thing I would eat if I was stuck in the woods, but if it's edible, why not? But I wish I would have stayed the whole camp. I wish I didn't get this injury. And I wish I could still be there. I could have stayed there to learn everything I could. Self-reliance keeps inflation down. Charge too much, I'll make it grow. I'll make it grow it for myself. Yeah, exactly. Well, which is pretty much what we're all trying to do. And if we can teach people, each and every one of us here has a different way of teaching. But if someone is following us and learning stuff from us, they'll learn not only how to save money, but how to eat better. And we all have the same purpose: inspire people to grow their own food. Stories like that helps me to keep going. I click with her because she's very similar and Southern Canadian. We love Michigan. They understand Canada. Yeah, exactly. To get into town, it costs me $20-$50 depending on the vehicle and where the ride is coming from. I am almost Canadian. Not only can be there in a couple of hours, my great grandparents are all buried in Canada. Oh, nice. Same with Tracy, T-Hand141. We call him the honorary Canadian. Yeah, definitely understand us. Um, and I think I forgot to talk about that Friday. I actually want to make a little video on that, but I don't know how that's going to turn out. I was at work in the elevator Friday. This lady looked at me and she's like, "You're the guy I saw on TV, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's possible." That's what I thought. That's what I thought. I thought that I've seen you before, and now that I see your face, I'm like, "Yeah, he's the one. Like, you're the one growing food and stuff." I'm like, "Yes." Oh, she's like, "That's so nice and so like it's so fun." Like uh, this year, I'm not saying she didn't say if it was because of me, but she started growing herbs in her kitchen window because she doesn't have more space to grow stuff. Um, but it's pretty awesome. She was happy to see me. She was happy to tell me that she was growing herbs in the kitchen window, and if that's all you can do, that's still great. It is great. If that's the only thing you can do is grow herbs in your kitchen window, go ahead. That's a start. That's one more thing that you'll heat empty and plenty. I mean, and for free, and it's gonna be better for your health. I thought T-Hand was Canadian. We call him the honorary Canadian. Their great grandparents were shipwrecked in Nova Scotia, kissed the ground, and said they would never get on another ship. They were headed to New York. You're welcome. It was actually from Little Homestead by the Beach. She's the one that paid, and she's still there. If I do it this way. You naturally need to be self-sufficient and a prepper because of snowstorm and power outages. Yeah, yeah. Um, if you can't be 100% self-sufficient in those situations, I would suggest to at least have a plan. Uh, we don't have a wood stove here, but if something happens, we have an uncle living 2 houses down the road, and we can walk there. And he has this big garage that he told us we can always go and crash in, and do our own stuff. Wood stove, we can cook, and I have plenty of cans behind me, mason jars, frozen food. My area has only been settled maybe 150 years at the most. Before that, it was built land, wild land. It was wild land. Okay, cool. Herbs are expensive, but they heal the body. It's important to grow herbs, if nothing else. Yeah, and I think she's the one that paid the one that you got to at WildEdibles. And yeah, totally true. If you can't grow a garden because you don't have space, you can always go in the forest somewhere, forage. There's always some stuff growing on your lawn that you can probably forage. Um, you can also, um, there might be a community garden not too far. There's stuff you can grow inside. You can have something growing in a bucket on your porch. Um, you know, there's always something. I got herbs to go in my buckets. See, that's awesome. I've been transplanting native edibles like lamb quarters. I think that lamb quarters are growing in my garden, and I used to remove them because I thought it was a weed. Um, that I will also, sorry, I will also have to confirm that it is in fact lamb quarters. But once I do, and I'll be able to eat them. The farmer's letting us plant some stuff in the garden and some in pots. See, that's awesome. There was a lady that moved here last year or the year before, and she didn't know anyone, and she offered me place on her garden, to grow. And the only thing she was asking in exchange was that I would help her take care of her garden. It would have been an amazing deal, except that it was a little bit too far from me. Like, it would have been 30 minutes away. 30 minutes away when you have other options is a little bit too far. Lamb quarters are very tasty. That is good to know. I've never had them, and I'm not sure if what I had growing is actually lamb quarters, but I will confirm. Definitely. They seem to grow in my compost. Where I buy the compost, it comes in there and grows like wild wheat. It's whatever. If I can eat it, I will. I planted some lettuce, spinach, and herbs as well. The herbs, I planted it in the little tower that Lynn Bucket List Homestead brought me at a conference. And I simply planted the lettuce and little thingy like this. The reason I didn't plant them straight in the ground is because the weeds. It's giving me a few more weeks, I guess, because if I can grow it big enough to recognize it from the garden, then it's given the plant a little bit more chances to survive in the garden if the weeds take over. Coastal Water, thank you so much for stopping by. Nice to have you here. Compromising at times is fun, but I'm willing to learn here. I need practice if I ever want to get back to work. Need to build muscle back and heal more too. Yeah, it is heavy work, especially the gardening, like the garden part, when you have to make your aisles and like flip the soil and stuff like that. It is a good workout for sure. You could put them in stir fry or just raw salad greens. They are not bitter. Okay, I'll confirm that this is what I have growing, and if so, I'll stop removing them as though it was weed. So when I go outside in a few minutes, I will plant more beans, cucumbers, more peas. Well, I already have like maybe 10 feet of peas growing. I also want to plant some zucchinis. Zucchinis do well here as well. I'm going to plant some zucchinis here. Yeah, the guys did all that. I can't but do a cleanup after the cows. Yeah, and if anything, last year with the competition, the Shed Wars competition, I think I was able to show that even if you don't have the space at your home, you can still harvest plenty of food. I had some colleagues with a bunch of plum trees that was too much for them. I told them, like, I'll go and I'll harvest some. And she was more than happy because she was tired of harvesting the plums. Same with apples. Was able to go harvest apples, wild apple trees, and some at friends. They had big 75-foot long aisle at the community garden where I was able to grow some more stuff. Sales is offering me space to grow stuff, although I didn't plant anything there. Well, I planted something there, but it just didn't grow. Sorry, I was reading a comment there. You know, like if you can't grow food at your place, there are other options. Um, like this lady in 30 minutes from my place, you know, someone that has no place to grow can go and help her out, and they can help each other out. I planted some squash seeds from Sal's place on Sal's place last year, but they didn't make it. Nothing sprouted, and they ended up dying. But you know, if I wanted to have more growing space, I could probably use some of his space. And I have my animals there. My meat chickens and my turkeys are there. So even though I can't have those animals here, I found another option. There's always a solution. I'm guessing someone living in the middle of Montreal City or New York City might see things differently. It might be a little bit harder for them to grow their own food, but you can still have a few things on the balcony. And, you know, I've seen Marilyn. She's growing her pepper plants on the top of her house, on the roof of her house. So that's giving her more space. There's always different solutions. Do a little bit every day, and I feel I'm getting stronger again. That's awesome. Well, I've been on for an hour. Usually just want to come for an hour on Sunday morning and drink my coffee, but since my coffee is already gone, even in towns, apple trees are everywhere. Look where the fruit is dropping and ask if you can help clean up. I did that and got so many apple for free. Yeah, exactly. You can make a lot with apples. Apple juice, apple jelly, apple sauce, apples, apple pies. It's free food most of the time, especially around here. The wild apple trees, they're all over the place. I can drive on my ATV for maybe 24 hours straight without ever passing the same spot and seeing an apple tree before 5 minutes every time. Cider vinegar, yep. Welcome back. You said 15 minutes. It was pretty much right on the dot. I see a lot of people that just don't want to deal with the fruit. Yeah. And some people just want to get rid of their fruits. It's too much for them to handle. 2 years ago, a friend of ours had a bunch of raspberries, like this big patch of black raspberries, and there was like 10 people go in there and harvest them. It was too much for them. That's what I want to have here. Raspberries that I have so much growing that we try to get rid of it. All the animals love it. Yeah. And they do offer it for free. Exactly. Well, I'm going to go now. Thank you, everyone, for stopping by. I will leave you on with a tiny bit of music. And I will see you guys. Crab apples, you can do some stuff with that, Thomas. So.